Hello, beautiful people. Neptune in Aries. Neptune move in Aries in January 2026 and will stay in Aries till 2039. A new collective myths begin. Have you ever noticed how sometimes when a dream is to fall apart, but it doesn't actually end? Sometimes it's just beginnings to take roots. And this is very much the kind of moment humanity is entering right now. Because of the most important astrological shifts of our time has started. Neptune has moved from Pisces into Aries. Neptune is the planet of dreams, spirituality, imagination, and collective unconsciousness. It shapes the deeper story that an entire generation being to believe about life. So when Neptune changes signs, the question is not only what will happen in the world. The deeper question becomes what will humanity begin to believe about itself. The end of a Pisces era. For many years, Neptune has been in Pisces, the sign its naturally rules. And Pisces brought a huge wealth of empathy, compassion, healing, and emotional awareness. During this time, we saw the rise of things like trauma awareness, new healing modalities, spiritually outside traditional religions, deeper conversation about compassion and collective suffering. But Pisces also has a shadow. Sometimes compassion turns into avoidance. Sometimes spirituality becomes escape. And sometimes awareness replaces action. And this is exactly where our Aries entered the story. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It represents identity, initiative, courage, and the instinct to exist as a unique individual. So, when Neptune enters Aries, something powerful begins to happen. Spirituality becomes connected with identity and action. Beliefs is no longer something abstract or private. It becomes something we must live, embody, and act on. And the big question of this era becomes very simple. What do you believe enough to act on? Because under Neptune in Aries, compassion without courage start to feel empty. Belief without action begins to feel dishonest. And silence begins to feel like participation. This transitioning happens in phases. Now, Neptune's transition into Aries does not happen overnight. Outer planet shift always unfold in phases. The first moment happened on 30th of March 2025 when Neptune first entered Aries. This was like a preview of the new energy. Suddenly, people begin feeling a stronger call to stand up for their values. Questions of identity, autonomy, and moral courage become louder. But then Neptune returned to Pisces for a short time on October 22nd, 2025. Neptune retrograde back into Pisces. This period asked humanity to proceed, unfinished emotions, and spiritual lessons. Old wounds, grief, and unresolved beliefs may suffer again. And then the real begins arrive. On January 2026, Neptune enters Aries and stay there until 2039. This is when the new era truly begins. The great astrologer Dane Ruther described Neptune in Aries as the beginning of new collective myth. Aries begins cycles. Neptune set the spiritual tone. Together, they plant the seed of a new story humanity begins to tell about itself. But myths are not created instantly. They emerge through conflict, extermination, and lived experiences. So, the early years of Neptune in Aries may feel intense. Old worldviews are dissolving, and the new ones are still forming. Another great astrologer, Rick Levine, often explains that Neptune transits revealed what humanity has been unconsciously avoiding. Neptune doesn't create the problems, it reveals where meaning has already started dissolving beneath the surface. And in Aries, avoidance becomes much harder. Issues connected to identity, leadership, autonomy, and moral courage came into the spotlight. The shift is simple but powerful. Humanity moves from empathy to action. It is no longer enough to simply talk with compassion. Now compassion demands courage. Another theme of Neptune in Aries is the rise of what we could call spiritual activism. Justice, truth, and protecting the vulnerable may increasingly be seen as spiritual responsibilities, not just political issues. We may begin to see leaders who embody their values instead of only speaking about them, activists influenced with deeper spiritual meaning, new spiritual communities forming outside traditional institutions. But there is also a shadow, because Neptune can create projections. Psychological astrologer Liz Green reminds us that Neptune can cause people to project their ideals onto leaders, turning them into heroes or villains. Under Neptune in Aries, we may see people idealized as saviors or demonized as enemies, which is why self-awareness becomes so important, because true courage still remains compassionate and conscious. During this period, identity itself becomes part of spiritual conversation. Questions around danger, autonomy, equality, dignity, belongings become deeply meaningful. Identity is no longer only personal, it becomes symbolic. Silence begin to carry ethical weight and naturally begins to look like a choice. Neptune in Aries may also reshape humanity's relationship with religions and belief systems. Instead of inherited beliefs, people may begin asking a different question. What do I truly believe enough to live by? Authority shifts from institution to individual moral awareness. Many people may leave rigid structures and search for direct spiritual experience. We may see decentralized spiritual communities, personal rituals replacing traditional ones, a blending of psychology, healing work, and spirituality. Faith becomes something lived, not simply declared. But now, Neptune in Aries is not simple. Aries brings fire, Neptune brings ideas. Together they may intrigue regionous anger, and a righteous anger can either liberate or destroy. When compassion disappears, ideas can become weapons. And this is why the deeper lesson of Neptune in Aries is maturity. Courage must coexist, but humanely. Action must remain self-aware. One of the most difficult lessons of Neptune in Aries is we are asked to act before the outcome is clear. Neptune devotes certainty. Aries demands movement. So humanity enters a paradox. Fate is no longer believing everything will look out perfectly. Fate becomes acting in alignment with your values, even when the outcome is unknown. In many ways, Neptune in Aries represents a spiritual reboot for humanity. Old belief systems lose their authorities. New ones are still forming. So the real question of this era becomes, what do you believe enough to protect? What do you believe enough to change? What do you believe enough to live by? Because spirituality is no longer only a private refuge. It becomes a public responsibility. If you like to explore this topic deeper, I wrote a full article about Neptune in Aries for years 2025 till 2039. It's on my website. You can find the link in the description down below, and I would love to hear from you. How do you feel about this new era? Do you think humanity is ready for this cycle, where beliefs demands action? Write your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy astrology and cosmic insights like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enjoy our growing astrology community. According to Dean Ragnar, this transit plants a new myth for humanity. Liz Green reminds us to watch projections of spiritual idealization. Stephen Forrest teaches that evolution requires courageous action, aligned with our values. Rick Levine explained that Neptune reveals what humanity has been avoiding. Together, they suggest that the years 2025 till 2039 will ask us one powerful question. What do you believe enough to act on? So this was the intro of this video. So I just wanted to explain what Neptune in Aries is all about, according to my view, according to other astrologers' view. Also to point you out to the article I wrote, which is way longer. This is just the main bullet points of the article. And now we're going to continue this video with general forecasts for each astrological sign using the equal house system. So we will see in what house for each rising sign this transit will take place and what will be the general meaning. Neptune in Aries forecast for each rising signs. The time duration is 2025 to 2039. With Aries rising. Aries rising, you have Neptune in the first house. This is a very powerful moment for you because Neptune is entering your first house of identity. Over the next years, you may feel a deeper spiritual awakening about who you really are. Old identities may dissolve, and you may feel called to live more authentically. This is not about pretending or following expectations anymore. This is about becoming the true version of yourself. Just be mindful not to lose yourself in the idea and ideals or in other people's expectations. The real work here is to embody your truth. Taurus rising. For Taurus rising, Neptune is moving through your 12th house, the most spiritual and hidden part of the chart. This is a period of deep inner healing. Old fears, old memories, old emotional patterns may come to the surface so they can finally be replaced. Meditation, therapy, or spiritual practices may become very important for you. It's also like the universe is asking you to close on an old chapter so a new one can begin. Gemini rising. Neptune enters your 11th house of community, dreams, and future vision. Over the next years, you may become involved in communities that share your ideals or spiritual beliefs. Your dreams for the future may change dramatically. You may also attract very inspiring friendships. Just be careful not to idealize people too much. The real magic here is finding your tribe and your vision for the future. Cancer rising. Neptune will be moving through your 10th house of career and public life. Your professional path may slowly shift towards something new and more meaningful. You may feel called to help others, teach, guide, or inspire in some ways. For some of you, this may bring a completely different direction in career. The question Neptune asks you is simple. Does your work reflect your soul? Leo rising. Neptune moves through your 9th house of philosophy, spirituality, and higher knowledge. Your belief system may expand in a way you never expected. You may feel drawn to mystical studies, astrology, spirituality, or traveling to explore different cultures. Old beliefs may dissolve and new wisdom begins to appear. This is a journey of discovering what true really means to you. Virgo rising. Neptune is entering your 8th house of deep transformations and emotional intimacy. This is a powerful time for psychological healing and emotional growth. You may become more interested in spiritual psychology, healing practices, or understanding the deeper layer of life. Financial matters connected to others may also change. This is a period where you are learning to trust the process of transformation. Libra rising. Libra rising, Neptune will be traveling through your 7th house of relationships. Relationships during this period may feel very spiritual and meaningful. You may attract partners who inspire you deeply, but Neptune can also liberate illusions, so it will be important to keep your boundaries clear. This transit is teaching you the difference between idealized love and true connection. Scorpio rising. Neptune moves through your 6th house of daily work and health. Your routine may change as you reach for more meaningful ways to spend your time. Many of you may feel drawn towards healing professions, helping others, or creative work that feels more aligned within your spirit. Your body may also become more sensitive to stress and energies. The key here is learning how to bring spirituality into everyday life. Sagittarius rising. Neptune enters your fifth house of creativity, romance, and self-expression. This is a beautiful transit for artistic inspirations. You may feel more connected to music, art, creativity, or spiritual forms of expressions. Romantic relationships may feel magical, but again, Neptune can bring idealization. The deeper message is to reconnect with the joy of creating and expressing your heart. Capricorn rising. Neptune will move through your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. Your relationship with family or your sense of belongings may change over time. Some of you may feel drawn to create a home environment that supports emotional healing and or spirituality. This transit invites you to explore your roots and understand what home truly means to you. Aquarius rising. Neptune moves through your third house of communication and thinking. You might become more intuitive and imaginative. You may feel inspired to write, teach, share ideas, or communicate spiritual knowledge. Your perspective on the world may shift in subtle but powerful ways. The gift of this transit is learning how to express inspiration through your voice and ideas. Pisces rising. Neptune enters your second house of values and finances. Your relationship with money and security may change as you begin to question what truly matters to you. You may discover talents, connect to creativity, spirituality, or helping others. The deeper lesson here is discovering what you truly value in life, not just materially, but spiritually. Thank you so much everyone for listening this forecast. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments what is your rising sign. I can send you personal forecast, Neptune in Aries for your rising sign. Also, if you know any degrees, the exact degree of your rising sign, I can see if there's any aspects resonating with you. You can also read the full article for deeper astrological insights on my website, MysticLifeAstrology.com. Thank you for being here, beautiful souls. All love and life. See you in the next video. All the best. Bye.